Hello, second graders. I'm Mrs. Burns. I hope you liked looking at the slides about the artwork and life of Wassily Kandinsky. And now I'm going to show you how we can make a fun self-portrait using some of his ideas about line, shape, and color. Okay, let's start off by looking at what you're going to need to make this Wassily Kandinsky inspired name portrait. Really, it's super simple materials. All you're going to need are some crayons, and even if your crayons are broken a little bit, they'll be fine. Some plain paper, like this is some copy paper, like from a printer, or you can tear a piece of notebook paper out of a notebook, or you can use a piece of paper that might have some writing on one side, but the back is blank. That would be totally fine. That's all you're gonna need. And then you'll need to be able to see this little letter guide, which is in the link on the slide that has the video. So if you're watching the video right now, the link is also on that same slide, and you can just open it up on your screen so you can look at it while you're working. You don't have to print it out. You just need to be able to see it while you're working. And that's all you're going to need for materials. Okay, now that you have your materials, I want you to find the black crayon or a dark colored crayon, because you're going to be using that to do the first part of the project. And also, I want you to get your paper ready, and you're going to decide whether or not you want your paper to be the tall vertical way or the short horizontal way. You get to decide which way you think will look better for your picture, and either way is 100% fine. It's your choice. I'm going to go horizontally. Once you have your paper set out in front of you, you're going to need to start looking at this letter guide. Each letter of the alphabet has a little shape or symbol or picture next to it that you will draw for each letter in your name. So you want to make sure that you're able to look at this. And these are the letters of my name. I'm just going to set that there. And I'm going to start drawing these all around my picture, and it doesn't have to be written out like a name. It could be anywhere on the page. And I want you to challenge yourself to try to draw big and use up the whole drawing space to make a really interesting picture. So my first letter is M, so I want to look on this chart, and M is this kind of zigzag line. So I'm going to decide to draw it in the middle, nice and big. Perfect. And you're using crayon. You can't erase with crayon. So if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. Just keep going. Nobody will even notice. You don't have to start over or cross it out or anything. Just leave it there, and it will be fine. Trust me. So I'm going to continue writing out all the symbols that will spell my name, and I'm going to try to use the whole paper. I have my whole drawing done. That's my name. I even decided that I wanted these 3 circles for the B that are going this way. I made them go up and down. You can do that if you want. You can change it up a little bit to make it fit your picture. And I try to use all the paper, so I have a nice big drawing. And now I can start with the coloring. So I can close out on the screen or put this off to the side because I don't need it anymore. Now before you're coloring, I want to show you something. Now you're in 2nd grade, so that means that you cannot scribble scrabble at all when you're doing your coloring. You have to use craftsmanship. Craftsmanship means taking your time, taking care, and showing that you are really working your best. So this would just be too scribbly for a 2nd grader. This is a little bit better, but you can still see all these little white spots. I call those peekaboos. We don't want any of those peekaboos showing. We want to get that all done. This is what you are really aiming for a nice, smooth, even colored in projects. So when you're doing your coloring, try to remember that you want to aim for a very nice, even coloring that you took your time on. Okay, and now I'm going to get my crayons and I am going to try to use lots of colors. Wassily Kandinsky thought colors were a good way to show emotions and feelings. So if you are feeling good, then I want you to pick colors that you love and make you happy. And if you're not feeling good or you're feeling grumpy or angry, I want you to try to choose colors that will match that feeling. So I'm going to color this in right now. Let's see how it looks. I have my paper colored in and it looks really nice. I tried my best to use craftsmanship, color everything in neatly. I chose some of my favorite colors because I'm feeling good and all these colors make me happy. And now I'm going to think about some patterns that I can add into some of these open shapes here to maybe make them look a little bit more interesting. So you can pick the black crayon or a dark colored crayon, and now we can start adding some patterns in some of these open spaces. You could even do this if you wanted. That's cute, fun. Draw on polka dots. You can do just some stripes. And do spots. Ooh, how about a spiral? That would be cool. I think I'm gonna do a spiral on all of these. That's fun. Okay, and now that's already looking better. There's one last thing that you can do to really make this look finished and beautiful, and that is to do something with all this open white space around our pictures that we drew for our letters. It just kind of looks kind of empty, and it will look so much nicer if it was filled in. And one of the things that you can do to fill in an open space like this is called crayon rubbing, and a crayon rubbing works great with any crayons that are broken or peeled, because you use the side of the crayon to do a crayon rubbing. And it's a really fun way to add texture and variety into your picture. So anything with a bumpy texture you can put underneath. Like, for example, this is just a little square of plastic that I'll put underneath, and then I'll take the crayon and I'll put it on its side and I just rub it. And when I rub it, do you see the pattern of that texture shows up? Now, maybe you don't have something plastic like this, but maybe you have a bumpy wall or one of those metal racks to cool off cookies. That would work. And one thing that you probably do have is a shoe, and using a shoe is a really silly way to add texture into your picture, but it's also super easy. So this is what you can do. You could just take off your shoe. Look at the design on the bottom of my shoe, and I can just lay my paper on my shoe and use that crayon and rub it and get that texture. And if you have some different shoes with some different textures, that'll work. If you want to change the crayon you're using to have some different colors in there, that'd be really cool too. But you just want to get all those open spaces filled in so that there's just not these big, giant, empty, uncolorful spots. And ta-da! Ooh, that looks so cute. And it looks finished now because all the white spaces are filled in. My artwork is nice and big. I used shapes, lines and color, just like Wassily Kandinsky used in his artwork. And now you've made a wonderful portrait of your name. And I'd love to see anything that you make. You can share it with me or the art teacher from your school or all of us. We love it. And you can also have fun making more of these portraits. You can do one with your first name and then one with your last name. Maybe you have a fun nickname that your family calls you by. Maybe you want to make one for members of your family. This is a great activity that you can do over and over and get different results every time. And it's all about your name. I hope you like doing this, and I hope you like learning about Wassily Kandinsky, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.